All right, Mr. Phil, thank you for taking the time to record this podcast and tell the world a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you very much, Terry. Appreciate you inviting me and having me as part of your podcast.
All right. Well, why don't we start out telling everybody who you are and what you do, and what does your company specialize in?
Okay. My name's Phillip Andrews. I'm first and foremost, I'm a husband to my beautiful wife. I have three kids, 45, 40, and 35. I have two bonus children. I have 13 grandkids, and I also have one great grandchild. Um, from the professional end of things, I am the president and CEO of Maintenance Solutions Incorporated. It's an industrial flooring installation company, and basically do a lot of shot blasting, a lot of polished concrete, a lot of resinous coatings installation, self-leveling cements, moisture mitigation, things like that.
Awesome. Awesome. Sounds like it keeps you busy.
It keeps me busy. We've been doing this for 30 years. So, hey, I'm still alive and I still got a
You
little bit
still,
of hair.
you still got, I got a couple missing back here from this industry,
It'll do it.
probably.
It'll definitely do it.
Well, let's go into your origin story. How did you get into the industry? And what was the hardest challenge getting into this industry or maintaining this industry or basically what made you get into this industry?
Well, to begin with, when I was a ripe age of about 22 years old, I went to work for a international marine offshore cargo shipping container paint manufacturing company out of Copenhagen, Denmark. Worked there starting off in the warehouse, sweeping floors and coating floors. We coated our warehouse floor every time a dignitary would come to town. And so started making deliveries to ships that came to port, what have you. It was an interesting field for me. And so I kind of latched on and moved from a warehouseman to a warehouse management to inside sales, physical distribution management. Left that company after about 3.5 years. Went to work for a company out of Oklahoma City called Crown Paint. Worked there for a few years and then went to a Japanese marine offshore and industrial coatings manufacturing. And so through all of this, I kind of found the love of the industry, and I was looking for something to do that would be a non-compete, wouldn't be a compete issue with the companies I was working for. So I started doing floor coatings on the side. Did a couple of little auto repair facilities and some high school auto repair shops and stuff like that. And I made some pretty good money and really enjoyed myself. Back then, we didn't have dust collectors and air movers, so I walked out a little bit covered in dust and probably not legal to drive
Yeah,
with the solvent fumes we were breathing. We were using conventional epoxies and urethanes back then,
that was the good
and
stuff,
that
right?
was yeah 35 years ago. So, needless to say, I put a name to it and went full fledged. I started the company back in 1996, and from there, we've grown into what we are today.
So what was the hardest challenge? From you going from working for a paint company to starting the installation company? What was the hardest challenge?
Well, the hardest challenge was knowing about surface preparation and the importance of surface preparation. Working on ships and drilling rigs, as you can imagine, if you don't sandblast or abrasive blast, the correct word these days,
Yes.
if you don't prep the surface properly, you can't expect performance. And I wanted to be remembered for quality and value. And so I focused everything on that. My hardest challenge was acquiring the finances that it took to get all of the equipment that we needed. Back then, it was a little bit easier to find employees. If you had one, you might as well have had 20 because everybody had a cousin, brother, uncle, aunt, somebody that
That was
would
willing to
come to
work.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it was a night or a weekend because they would work by day doing whatever they did, and by night or weekend, they would come and work for us, and we'd give them a good fair wage, and everybody won.
Yeah.
But as it materialized into a full running operation, um, personnel was a bit of an issue,
Right.
keeping and maintaining personnel, as well as acquiring the equipment you needed. You know, you've got a 2,000 square foot job here, and then you're stepping into a 30,000 square foot job. We tried coupling up with a couple of surface prep companies. Didn't work out too well, and it wasn't all the time, but every now and then. They would use the wrong size media and leave us way too deep of a surface profile. Trying to hide that with coatings can get kind of expensive.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
on top of that would be, just the whole job schedule. I think we all know what it's like. You Somebody tells you, "Hey, we're going to need you June the 10th," and June the 8th or 7th, you call, "Hey, are you ready for us?" And they say, "Oh, no, 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 we're still
Yeah.
3 months out." And you've got everything scheduled. 3 months later, you're starting to get ready, and they call you and say, "Hey, we've been ready for you, man. Where are you hiding at?" And all of a sudden, you're trying to pull people off of one job to get them over to the other. Personnel, materials never really a big issue for us because we have a few very, very valued vendors, and we treat our vendors like they were customers,
Yeah.
and we treat our customers like they were vendors. And so everybody gets very well treated. Bills get paid quick. We just but the biggest issue would probably have had to have been the equipment necessary to prepare the surface the way we wanted it done.
Yeah. It's a big deal to invest that much money, knowing that your first couple jobs are probably not going to pay for that equipment.
Yeah, and I was a little hard headed as well. I didn't want to borrow money. I wanted to do this out of my hip pocket because at the same time I started the company, I was still working as upper level management for a Danish and a Japanese marine paint company in between the two of them. So I was, putting in 50, 60 hours a week with them. And then nights and weekends, I was out watching the crews work, assisting where I could, what have you. And
So yeah,
but yeah, eventually, once you buy the equipment, you own it. We did not start off buying brand new equipment. We actually started off buying used equipment, which was a benefit. But then we also found the benefit of brand new equipment and how easy it is to get a loan to acquire that equipment and put it to work.
yeah, yeah. Equipment is a big deal when you're starting out. It's
Absolutely,
both ways. You need the good equipment, but you can't afford the good equipment. But you get it's a big challenge, and I
absolutely,
think a lot of people have the same issue entering this industry.
absolutely. And right now, the hot issue is really is personnel.
Yeah, yeah,
There's more work than you got people to put behind it. So.
yeah. That is a big deal. All right, let's move into this one. In business, what was a sticky situation that made you better, and how did you handle it, and how did you learn from it? So, what was a situation that was kind of kind of sticky to get in and get out of?
Well, it's funny. I think everybody has their oh crap story, and I have a couple of them.
I'd say
um,
in 30 plus years, you'd have
yeah,
a
just a,
couple.
just a
Yeah.
couple of them. Well, a couple of them you can kind of wiggle out of. The main thing is it's not that you have problems. What you do when you have problems that separates the men from the boys. So we had a job gone bad where the coating didn't cure right in the middle of a 25,000 square foot job, and it was a big manufacturing area, and everybody was watching. All the corporate people had their eyeballs on it, and here you've got this one little area of probably 25, 30 square feet that didn't cure properly. So, we had to go out and do the big boy thing and fix it. And, you learn the techniques along the way. You're not always, these are not textbook type of scenarios. So,
They don't have a recipe for this.
no recipe. So, we did the right thing. We stepped up. We got it to the point where you could barely even see that anything had happened. Of course, we could see it, but for the most part, the client didn't say anything. So we moved on. GC was very, very happy, and then we had another one. We had a 144,000 square foot ESD job, and it was basically over two big rooms, And so we started at one side and we plowed through that, got it all nailed out, looked absolutely beautiful. Got into the second room. They started dressing out the room, and then QAQC came in and with their megometers started reading the floor. And as good as it looked, it didn't matter.
It didn't
What
tear.
mattered, the fact was that we were beyond a gig. So, needless to say, it did not pass. And they had already dressed it out and actually started operations
Put all the equipment in and
and an
everything.
assembly of computer components. So we had to go in and work nights and weekends around production. Luckily, we had a very understanding customer, and they hung all the plastic to separate our areas from the components areas, and we were able to jump through every square inch and redo the floor with a sister product that was very well known. They basically tried to make a semi gloss version of a matte product. The matte product worked. The semi gloss was half in, half out. So, but we got it all done. Customer happy, and yeehaw.
Yeah, and those are expensive situations,
They
correct?
really are. Now, good news is the manufacturer owned up to their issue,
Uh,
and so they covered the material and then paid our guys. It wasn't didn't cover everybody's overtime hours, but it was better than
Zero.
taking a
Right.
complete beating on our end. It had nothing to do with us, but still saving our own face was more important than worrying about the dollars and cents so much. I'd say it was a break even.
Yeah. And I think those sticky situations make you who you are, right?
Absolutely, they
And
do. Like I
and
say, it separates the men from the boys.
yeah, if
It's not
everything
that.
goes smooth all the time,
Yep.
then what does that say about you,
Yep.
right?
It's like flexing a muscle, man. You
Yeah.
don't ever flex that muscle, you lose it.
Yeah. No,
So with this here, it adds a little bit of humility to life in general and in business, and it kind of helps you to determine who you are.
yeah. Yeah. We've had our fair share also.
Yes, sir.
So then, workforce and training. You spoke a little bit about personnel and stuff like that, and it's always a challenge. So, how do you find new personnel, and what is your approach to training and retaining good talent? Which is that's a
Mm.
loaded question, you know. So,
Yeah, well, and it makes good sense because we don't feel that we have the magic answer to all of those things. But what we have works for us. Of course, we put the Indeed ads out, the Craigslist ads. Um, a lot of times in there, people want to know what's the job
yeah,
paying, and so we don't always put the range. And just it's kind of a I don't want to call it a fishing technique.
yeah, yeah,
People will call and they'll say, "Hey, we saw your ad. We're interested. What is it paying?" And so it depends on your level of experience. We're willing to train people with no experience because instead of beating the bad out of somebody, it's better to fill in the good.
right,
So as long as somebody's got a good work ethic, we're able to teach them. And so what we typically do is when we bring someone in and they get vetted through not only myself, but then we also bring in our crew foreman, kind of a project manager, crew foreman. He's over all of our crews. He will interview, and then if it passes through him, then it'll go to a crew leader, which would be polishing or resinous guys. They will interview, and if it passes all three, then the person will go through before we actually make a job offer to them. We do drug screen everybody before we make an offer. Once they pass the drug screen, then we sit down, we make the offer, and we do have them sign a non compete. Um, Again, in Texas, we are able to enforce a non compete for up to a year. May cost a little bit of money, but again, I don't really enforce it unless it's needed.
yeah,
If they're going after my customer base, or if they're immediately wanting to compete with us, we can do a cease and desist. Relatively inexpensive process, and it kind of shuts people down. We've only had to do that, I think, two times, one or two times, out of the number of people that have been in and out.
yeah,
And now, what we do is we connect the new person with an elder in the company, in the field. and that elder typically can speak Spanish or English, and they will work beside that person and allow them to, give them some tidbits of expectation,
Yeah.
and see how they perform. If it looks like they can let them go, they'll let them go. Check back in on them a little bit, coach them through the different stages of surface preparation, the pre-cleaning before any installation, patching, priming, whatever the case may be, hanging cove, what have you. And so that's part of the training process. And then eventually we'll knock that little bird out of the nest and let them fly on their own and until the next one comes
Yeah.
out. For retention, we've got guys that have been with us upwards of 27 years now. We've got some guys that have been here 18 to 20 years, and we've got a few guys that have been here 2 or 3 weeks. For the most part, the retention comes from understanding culture. Today's culture is a wee bit different than it was years ago.
Yes.
And we do not provide phone break um, times and things like
Instagram
that.
Instagram breaks.
Yeah, we don't do that. No, we're a little bit more crude than that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
no,
yeah.
understanding the culture. People want to feel important. They want to feel valued. They want to see a future. They want to, it's really, at the end of the day, it seems like it's all about money. I don't think it's all about money, but money is what will bring them in. And as long as they get rewarded for good behavior, showing up on time, doing the things they're supposed to do, um, being a team player, not making mistakes, things like that, that will definitely put them in for the stair step to success. And stair step to success for us is basically starting off as an apprentice. Once you graduate from the apprenticeship program, which is typically 90 to 120 days, um, if you don't, you stay there. Your pay does not increase. And then when you do step up to the next level, you hit a journeyman level, craftsman level, and then leader level.
Yeah.
So each one of those levels has a kind of a price range, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And if they fit it, they fit it. If they don't, they don't. The problem is you better make sure they fit it, because if they fall out of it, not much you can do about it other
Yeah.
than send them down the highway.
Yeah.
We try not to do that. We want
Nobody
to make them
likes a
all feel
pay
important.
decrease, right? Nobody likes to go down
Pay
and
decrease,
yeah,
absolutely.
nobody likes to pay decrease.
Absolutely.
That usually changes the conversation, right?
It does. It definitely changes conversation. But I think most people are pretty normal in that sense. It's just, today's youth are a wee bit different, but I think understanding their culture, where they come from, what's important to them. I understand the importance of PlayStation. As long as it doesn't go past midnight and they're, at work on time and all that kind of good stuff, I think it's highly important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Downtime is good, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. So, an industry insight and topic. I know you thought about these questions. We say a topic of the week. Um, so, what is something that you're interested in? What is something that you're passionate about as far as like in this industry? You know,
Well, we run into, and I've had no forethought into this. This is kind of a drop one in
in the
the hot
bucket.
potato.
Yeah,
We'll call
yeah,
this the
yeah.
hot
Here
potato.
you go. Here you
Well,
go.
the hot potato really for us is, I'm going to use the word competition, because we're friends with most of the installers in our area. There's one or two that, may have that whole competitive anger thing going on. But for the most part, we all get along pretty well.
Yeah.
We try and help each other out. We all get in tough
Yeah.
positions, whether it's you run out of material or you need a tool or whatever the case may be. I can't tell. Matter of fact, at World of Concrete, I bought a brand new machine last January. Got it in our hands towards the end of February because it was actually on the floor at the World of Concrete. I had talked to one of our competitors, friendly competitors, actually is on our deer lease, and he said, "So what'd you buy this year, Philip?" And I told him, and he goes, "Oh man, I want to buy that. I saw it." And I said, "Oh, good for you." And he said, "I'm gonna borrow that." Do you know that the day that thing landed in my warehouse, that evening he came and picked it up,
And borrowed it.
Took it to the job site. Yeah, we did. We were kind to him, and so he borrowed the machine. It did what it was supposed to do. It helped him out, and probably made a little sale for that machinery manufacturer, because I went back and bought a second one
Yeah. Oh,
right
okay.
after, and we used it 8 or 10 times within a 2 month period. So we knew that it was
Yeah.
one of those pieces of equipment that you really need to have more than one of on your shelf.
I got you.
So, and we're not scared to buy equipment. I mean, like I say, I am not scared to go out and get a loan. Bottom line is, I'd rather pay 300, 500, 800, 1,200 bucks a month and have it than wishing that I had it. And
And
because you can make
struggling.
money off something that you got,
And
can't make
struggling.
money off something you can't.
Yeah. And the guys struggle if you don't got it.
Absolutely.
The guys struggle and take longer, and labor is expensive.
Absolutely, it is, no question. And having state of the art equipment. We had an old 15D Super Shot Blaster. This thing was probably dated back to the 1920s. I don't think they made them back then.
Yeah.
This thing is
Yeah,
old,
yeah,
but it's a
yeah.
great piece of equipment. But
Absolutely.
if you compared that old 15D Super, this thing's got the pancake motor on it, so it's an elderly one. Just had it all rebuilt, beautiful. So we bought a brand new 15D Super, and we had also bought another one, so we had three at the time. Well, when you go from this one to the new one, you at least 1.5 production increase,
Yeah.
just because of the way that the design
technology,
works and
yeah.
the technology changes. But it's fine. They all work the same. They all get the job done. Just that one happened to be a little bit quicker. So the moral of that story is, it's okay to buy new equipment.
It is okay.
And I overcame my ego.
I struggle with it myself.
Yeah,
Like,
I know, it's tough. Hey, it's tough, man. I
Yeah.
tell you what, it's a lot of money. I've got 2.6 million dollars worth of equipment, and between trucks, trailers, blasters, I think we're at 15 or 16 shot blasters right now. Probably 16, 18 grinders, some remote, some motorized, what have you. There's a lot of equipment back there, and dust collection, pre-separators. I mean, you name it. It's auto scrubbers, power trowel polishing machines. Got three of those. So you got to have what it takes to make the money if you're going to play ball. Get off the porch.
Yeah. If you're gonna play with the big boys, you better have the big boy tools.
Daggum right.
So, all right. So then, what advice would you give to the next generation trying to break into this industry, and what would you wish someone had told you when you started? So it's two questions, right?
Okay, number one, run.
Yeah. Run fast or slow?
Oh no, run like there is a lion on your tail. Finish college.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
No, actually, in reality, I didn't go to college. There was reasons why I didn't. My dad had brain surgery when I was 16, and I just didn't feel like that was a path for me. So I went to the School of Hard Knocks and graduated, by the way.
Yeah.
It took me a while. I got my GED in it.
Yeah.
No, but I did. I was street smart when it came to that. My dad was also a very big part to play in all of that. And so my suggestion would be, go to work for someone else, learn the industry, learn the products, learn the process, learn everything about the equipment, the different types of concrete that we face. I mean, I think we can all,
Oh yeah.
it doesn't matter where you go.
It's
You
different.
walk through this door, it's going to be this. You walk through that door, it's going to be that, and you can't treat them all the same. So you got to get to know the product you're working with. It's kind of like an artist working with a canvas that's got holes all in it. I can paint a Mona Lisa with 14 belly buttons. Let me tell you what, I've done it before, and I'll do it again. So at the end of the day, just make sure that you know this industry before you take the dive. Best way to do it is on somebody else's nickel. Help them grow and build. Do not, under any circumstances, harm a previous employer in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Be respectable, be honorable, be honest, be a man of ethics, and do the right thing. And
go a
then
long way. That'll
start your own. If you're going to do it the right way, and you already walk off with a little bit of a positive aura following you. And what was the other question?
And the other question is, what do you wish someone had told you when you started? And I think that's when you said run.
Well, all right. So, What do I wish? I think I even might have made a note on
Yeah,
this
I'm
one
sure you
here.
did because I've got a book of notes
I wish
on this
someone
one.
I wish someone would have told me to go to college, become a doctor or lawyer. LOL. This is a tough market,
Yeah.
tough business because you will have problems. You will lose sleep.
It's
You
not.
will lose fingernails chewing them. Age quickly, develop medical problems, but the good news is you'll develop a strong relationship with your spiritual higher power because you do pray a lot.
Uh-huh.
Praying that a check is actually in the mail,
Yeah.
praying that the coating cures, praying that the shot blaster makes it through the prep job, etc., etc., etc.
We could probably go on for a couple hours here.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole lot of
Yeah.
things to be praying for, brother. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, pray that your knees hold up, your back holds up.
Absolutely.
I
You
mean,
know, there are really so many things. There's not really one thing. But I, like I say, I went to the school of hard knocks and I learned the hard way. Luckily, I don't take too many bruises before I figure out stuff. I am the guy that everybody looks towards for guidance and leadership, direction, organization. Um, Financial assistance. I mean,
yeah,
it all comes right here to this door,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, and I appreciate that because I'm kind of like the father of this organization, and I got all my little children running around out there. There's about 26 of them out there. So
It's pretty cool, huh?
yeah, it
It,
is.
it,
It is actually. It's an honor and a blessing to have all of that. And each and every one of them is a blessing to this organization as well because they bring something that's a little bit different from the guy that they work right next to,
yeah,
and it's usually positive.
yeah. It's a whole team effort, right?
It
Like,
is.
you can't do this on your own.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's just it's
Boy, if I could, whoo, boy,
yeah. If I could, I would. I think I've tried a couple times.
yeah, probably got forced into
Yeah,
every time or two. Huh?
yeah. Oh yeah, a time or
I ain't
two.
coming to work today, boss.
Yep. And usually that means you change the boots and put the clothes on and you get it done. You know. So,
Absolutely,
but yeah. I mean, there's a lot of sleep,
sleepless nights.
a
Yeah,
lot of sleepless nights, and hoping the coding cures.
absolutely.
That is probably the main thing. I wake up in the middle of the night. You know.
Come to think
Yeah.
of, it's funny you said this because we did a project, and I don't want to really want to throw the name of the location out, Mellow Mushroom. Restaurant, we were doing a back of house, and at the time we were using a manufacturer that packaged their polyurethane concretes in their A's and their B's in tote tanks.
Okay.
So our
Yeah.
guys had a habit of, pouring off 10 or 12 5-gallon pails. And whenever they were going to a job, they'd grab X number of pails of A, X number of pails of B, and stoichiometrically, it was basically an equal mix ratio. And but we had also done that with a water based acrylic sealer. We bought a bunch of 55-gallon drums, and it wasn't practical to take the 55-gallon drum. You already know where
Yeah.
this is going, don't you?
I think so. I
So
think so. But I want to hear it.
the buckets, they would never use the 10 fives of A and the 10 fives of B. They would use 6 or 7 or whatever. They come back, and before you know it,
Got a
the
pile of
buckets, yeah,
buckets.
you couldn't really tell what was in what. One was dark, one was kind of whitish. Well, both the Part A and the cure and seal were the same color. So, needless to say, we go pour the floor at this restaurant, and I get a call from my crew foreman going, "Hey, boss, this product," he said, "normally in like 20 or 30 minutes it's hot and it's smoking, man." He said, it's not hot and it's not smoking, and it's been 4 hours. I don't think it's going to cure." I took it to the manufacturer, which happened to be down the road from us, and the owner of the company, the first thing he did was he smelled the Part A,
Right.
and he could not smell that pine sol odor. And he goes, "This isn't mine." He said, "Philip, this is not my polyurethane concrete.
That's not the A.
Polymer." And I got to thinking, I'm like, "Oh crap!"
You knew exactly what it
I
was.
knew exactly what happened. I'm going to tell you something. This is how God works. It cured. I don't know how,
Well, there
I
had to
went
be.
by 2 years later, and that floor was as good as the day we put it down.
It took a long time to cure, right?
It took a long time to cure because we probably got, of course,
There's
water-based
enough.
acrylics has
Yeah,
water in it with cement. You got the water to cement cure. You just didn't get the A to B cure.
you had the air cure rather than probably
Hmm.
the chemical cure that it
Yeah.
normally
So
does.
sleepless nights, chewing fingernails,
That is that is
praying and the check came in too, by the way.
yeah. Those are usually a good sign.
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna go to the final question. There'll be a wrap up after this, but this final question. So we've talked briefly about this, and a lot of this podcast is for just get to know owners like yourself and people in the industry that make a difference. And
Yes, sir.
so we are starting a nonprofit organization, and we want to ask the question to prominent folks like yourself is if there was a 2 to 3 month 60 to 90 day training program in the middle of the country to prepare new hires for the workforce, would you be willing to support that or be a part of something like that, and why? And let me give you a little background on what we're doing. And I I gave you a little background earlier today. Is like, so we're starting this new nonprofit organization to train folks in our industry, but bringing those folks out of when they're freshly out of young men freshly out of prison with no direction, drug addicts out of rehab with no direction, and veterans that are just lost in their travels, whether they come from war or whether they're here just they finish their duty and they're ready to go to work. We want to
Mhm.
put these guys in a live-in program for about 60 to 90 days to train them intensely on this industry. So the question is, would you be willing to support something like that, and why?
Absolutely, I would be interested in supporting that. Number one, I think everybody needs a second chance. I think most people are touched in some way, shape, form, or fashion by uh, one of their family members going to jail for whatever the reason may
Yeah.
be, right, wrong, or indifferent. It happens, and a second chance gives them the opportunity. Hopefully, by the time that they come out, they've seen the error of their ways and have been rehabbed, and then of course going into a facility where they get additional rehab and also a training on how to get off the street kind of mentality and into a workforce mentality. um, I think is really good. And I'm sure you guys would be vetting them through the process as well.
Absolutely.
To us, the training, so there are different types of installers, as you know. You've got the garage floor guys, you got
Yeah.
the hair salon guys, you got the warehouse guys, and then you got the other guys. And we fit into the other guys.
Yeah.
We do everything from restaurants, food processing, pharmaceutical, electronics manufacturing, airplane hangars. I mean, you name it, we do it. But we typically use very specialized coatings. So it would be important that not only these guys get the life skills, but also get the skills to be able to perform with hand troweled urethane concretes, methyl methacrylates, ESD coatings, and understand not just the the physical difference between the appearance or the performance, but also the application instructions, how important it is to measure things out, because I think we've all seen where you walk into the kitchen and half the people are not measuring out how much salt they put into stuff, and this batch may
Yeah.
have a little more, this batch may have a little bit less, but we can't have that in this
But
industry.
understanding the why, right?
Yeah,
And why do we do the things that we do? Why we do this coding, and
absolutely.
why we mix it like this, and why
Yes.
we mix it for this much time.
Yeah. So I
And
think the quality of the training is really going to be important. I think also pulling these guys out and vetting, because I don't think that everybody that comes out is going to be the perfect candidate for this
scenario, yeah,
field
yeah.
of expertise. But I would love to do that just for the sole purpose of giving someone a second chance and having a workforce that already comes pretty much pre-trained.
Yeah, yeah. All right. And you'd be willing to utilize those those graduates, if you would say,
Absolutely.
to come into your
And of course,
organization?
it's up to them what they
What?
do with
Right.
that,
Right.
because if it
Absolutely.
doesn't work, it doesn't work. But just
Successful ones. Let me phrase that. Like if there
absolutely.
was some successful folks out of that, they would be willing.
We currently have one or two people that may have spent a little time at the Crossbars Hotel,
Yeah. Yeah.
but at the end of the day, each and every one of them has come out as
A different
a
individual, right?
different. I didn't know them before, but I can tell you the people that we have now are spectacular.
I like
Good
that.
people.
I like that. I like that. So let's do a wrap up. Where can people find your company online? And last thoughts or shout outs to people that have helped you along the way.
Okie dokie. All right, so I can be found at Philip at mscoatings.com. That's PHILIP at M as in Mark, S as in Sam, coatings.com. Just the installation company. We also have Facebook is Maintenance Solutions Incorporated at Maintenance Solutions Inc. LinkedIn is Maintenance Solutions Incorporated / company / maintenance solutions Inc. Or X Twitter at MS Coatings. And I'd really like to thank some quite a few people here actually.
All right.
I'd like to thank all of our valuable employees for their hard work, great ideas, willingness to excel, and always being available and ready to satisfy our customers' needs. I'd like to thank my Father in heaven and His Son Jesus Christ for the guidance in my personal and professional life, my wife Shelley for supporting my dream, and my son Jonathan for all of his hard work, dedication, and professionalism, and his love always. He's our number one sales guy, but I also get to call him my son, and he is an amazing, amazing individual.
Yeah, I enjoy working.
Absolutely.
You know.
And thank you again for inviting me to do this. I've had a
Yeah,
great time, and
yeah. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a busy guy, and this is all for a good cause. You know,
absolutely.
this is what we're doing, and these are the conversations we want to have, and there may be another one down the road. A couple years down the road, you may have another one. Might be a different story by then. You know,
Absolutely.
and then so I'd like also you you can mention this if you want, and you can cut this however you'd like. But like you have a store.
Yes.
Would you like to promote that store? Would you like to tell the people where
Sure.
you can find that store at for the specialty coatings and stuff?
Absolutely. So we own a store. It's known as Resinous Flooring Supply. The actual name is Aries Investors Incorporated, doing business as Ray Weeks Marketing. Long story, don't want to hear. But www.resinousflooringssupply.com. And it's a 10,000 square foot location. We ship worldwide. We've shipped from Ireland to Canada, Mexico, and golly, we've been all over Costa Rica and here, there, and everywhere with with not only the products. It's a very large tool store. Everything from Ted Baugh mixers to white aluminum oxide. About 8 different brands of resins, polymer concrete products, urethane concrete products, self-leveling cements, polishing equipment. We do have some Husqvarna propane-powered grinders in there, rental equipment, shot blasters, pretty much you name it. If it's to do with the resinous flooring industry or the polished concrete industry, we're loaded up with it. Best way to get a hold of anyone would be to get a hold of Alex Cardenas. He's our general manager, and you can reach him at alex at resinousflooringssupply.com.
Okay, awesome.
And also, there is an X Twitter, which is at res floor supply. Facebook is Resinous Flooring Supply at Resinous Flooring Supply. LinkedIn is Resinous Flooring Supply / company / resinous flooring supply, and Instagram at Resinous Flooring Supply.
Cool. So thank you again, Phil, and look forward to continuing this relationship.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thank you.